So let's do this one. So Arjun, I actually picked something from your LinkedIn here.
Okay.
And this was the Anthropic OpenAI race to IPO. So I think this
Oh,
is a really interesting topic. I think it's very
Yeah.
clear that at least let's call it rumors are
hmm
that, well, it's not a rumor. Anthropic has said they plan to go public at some point early next year, and they have actually put in place like hired a legal team or investment bankers. Like that was my interpretation of it. OpenAI is more hand wavy, right?
hmm
Like
Yeah.
they seem to have kind of made this public or alluded to it, but it's not as clear. So just give us your perspective on the Anthropic OpenAI race
Yeah.
to IPO in 2026.
Yeah. I am happy if any of them get there in 2026. That would be awesome for the industry writ large. So I think while they've both had, very different trajectories on their path, I mean, the growth from a revenue perspective, from all perspectives, has been absolutely astronomical and awesome to watch. I think if I put my ecosystem hat on, as long as one of them can get to an IPO moment in the calendar year 2026, that's going to be great for the broader ecosystem because there is so much liquidity locked up in both of these companies. And ideally, they're kind of clearing their past round prices, right? So rumors are OpenAI, I saw something today, 750 billion. I think there's been some rumors floating around about Anthropic at 300 plus. So as long as I think they can get out, Anthropic ideally closer to half a trillion and maybe OpenAI close to a trillion or even 700, 800, the amount of liquidity that releases into the ecosystem is going to be tremendous and it's going to help a thousand flowers bloom, right? So as people start to get that liquidity, both funds, early stage investors, late stage investors, family offices, all the people that have kind of chucked on into these rocket ships along the path are going to see some liquidity, and that liquidity will then kind of return into the broader ecosystem. And so that means more funds getting funded, more startups getting funded, more just general energy and excitement out in the ecosystem. Employees who now have liquidity, and we've seen this with every other cycle, they're going to put their money in things they know best, and those things are startups. And so that's going to be good for the broader ecosystem. So I'm just hopeful one of them gets there, and also put in that bucket SpaceX or Stripe
Oh
or
yeah.
anybody else who might swing it. They're big enough that they'll unleash such a tidal wave of liquidity that it'll have great downstream effects for the rest of the industry. So that's what I'm excited about. So a little bit of a different take on that question, but I think I'm happy for either to go public. Let's go.
I
I'm
like it.
excited to see the cursor mafia or the OpenAI mafia.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what are those guys going to do? It's going to be awesome. We were talking about the PayPal mafia earlier, so yeah, let's see what happens with this cruise.